Welcome back to Stuck on an Island where I'm stuck with you and we are always smiling.
When you're on a holiday, you can't find the words to say all the things that come to you, and I wanna feel it too, on an island in the sun.
Guys, this is probably the third time recording this video, and it just brought something important that I had to say. A lot of people message me sometimes and they say, oh Steven, you know, I can listen to you talk forever, and you know, I really appreciate that, and it helps to build my confidence. It helps to allow me to be more brave to speak my mind. I'm a very speak my mind person. But before I even continue on that topic, let me say shout out to my friend Sanique, who's been watching the vlog, and she's ordered 5 bottles of honey. I think Sanique is from Europe or from England, and one of her family members is here, so I'm gonna deliver it to her aunt to give it to her family member, and they will bring it up to her via plane. So that's pretty awesome. That's one way, guys, you can get the honey, especially if it's in the Kingston or Montego Bay area. I will try to find a way to get it down there to you so you can taste a bit of the honey. That's the exciting part for me. Like, I'm so excited that, not that I sold the honey, because as you guys might realize, I'm not really promoting my honey as much because it's not like I have a lot. But the main reason why I'm so excited is that she's able to watch the vlog, to see what I did, to see, you know, me take care of the bees, to see me extract, and to actually taste a part of the vlog. Like, for me, that's just really so freaking awesome. But getting back to what I was saying, I recorded this video maybe like 4 times, to be honest. I did one that was like 13 minutes long, and I was just talking about bees. And you know, sometimes, as I said, people are like, oh, I like talking to you. It's not easy, you know, because, you know, we all sometimes feel judged and we don't know what people will think and so on. But it brings me back to a story, you know, my very first year of university. I remembered I was in a classroom. I share this story all the time, especially when people say, you know, like, you talk a lot, or when people try to knock your points or try not to listen. I remembered I was in class, and I'm still gonna get back to that conversation, that long conversation about bees that I was talking about. But anyway, but I was in the class, and you know, the teacher was talking something about, you know, sports tourism, and you know, can our ambassadors do more? This was a while back. This was like 2012. That time Usain Bolt was maybe 2 Olympics in, and you know, everyone was like, yeah, big up Mr. Bolt, big up everything and whatever. And of course, I had a contradicting opinion. Now, before any of y'all try to slander me or try to say that, yo, I don't think that he's done enough. Remember, that was years ago. Yeah. So at the time, I was saying, you know, I think he did a lot. I think he did a lot, but there's a lot more that I think that not only he could do, but all of our sporting icons and also the government. And then everyone, like, honestly, like, everyone, you know, they started jumping down my throat. They started saying this, they started saying that, in a bag of raving. One thing I always tell people, a lot of people listen to give a response, but they don't listen to understand and then give a response. They just want to hear you say something and they just start whatever. And I remember I was in the class and I shut up, like, immediately. I was like, and in my lecture, he was like, Mr. Monroe, come man, talk up. And I was like, nah. And he was like, come. He was like, Mr. Monroe, one thing you must always remember: never, ever back down from giving your points when you have something to say. And I was like, yes, I understand, but when it's project time, whatever. And he gave us the project to write about sports tourism or whatever it was. I know my topic was sports tourism. And I went back home and I did my extensive research. Normally, I'm the average beer, meaning I know like in my thoughts naturally I can accomplish basic concepts. So I have a basic idea of my thought process. But I went home and I researched and I formalized my thinking. I got everything I needed to know about sports tourism and how we could have made it a lot better. I looked at other countries, I examined them, and I looked at their best practices, and I did my research. I handed it in, and I remembered maybe 2 weeks later, you know, Jamaican teacher take long for mark. My teacher came and he was like, so, everyone was very verbal in the class to talk about what they thought, but in the exam only two passed. Only in the project only 2 persons did well. The second highest person goes to, and it went to this girl. She got like 90% or whatever, and then and the highest grade went to me. If I'm not lying, I think I got like a 98% or a 91. I can't remember. I actually have that project still in my email, because that for me was just like that for me was my affirmation that when you have a point and people are going to be like telling you all this bag of shit at your ears. I mean, sorry for those people who don't like hearing about the word shit. Bag of people have this bag of things to talk and say, because everyone, they know everything, but they can't put it into context, or they, as I said, they just respond just based on what they hear, but they're not listening for understanding. And from that day, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna always try to be as outspoken as I like it or not. Some persons have said to me like, oh, you're cocky or you're arrogant. What persons don't understand, if I don't believe in something or if I don't understand it, I'm the most quiet individual out there. If I don't understand a point, or if it's not my area of passion, I'm not going to say anything. So some persons sometimes misinterpret my passion for explaining something to being arrogant, but it's a part of it. And personally, maybe if arrogance, a lot of the successful people in the world at some point are arrogant. For example, think about guys like Steve Jobs. People look at Steve Jobs when he was alive and they go, oh yeah, successful, blah blah blah. It wasn't easy for this guy, because no one would believe in having an alternate software, Mac, Apple, what the hell? And there was always Windows that was doing pretty well already. This guy pretty much also even lost his company. He lost the Apple company before creating another company called something Generation X or something, before getting back over to Apple. Of course, though, when he was young, he was arrogant, of course. And of course, as you mature, you start shaving away some of that arrogance, because in the beginning it is helpful, but then you have to start learning how to mature and shave away some of it. Now that brings the point of what I really wanted to talk about. I mean, if you guys are tired of hearing me, you can always stop watching the video, move on with your life. But what I wanted to talk about really was the whole value of honey and why is it so expensive. The lighting good? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna continue. So the whole deal about honey, as a lot of people do not know, and this all started from the reason why I even started beekeeping, which is the bees are dying. If any of you following my Instagram page 3EE honey, you'll see in all my hashtags save the bees, and you have millions of other people who actually post that hashtag as well. For those who don't know, Albert Einstein predicted, and he said if the bees were to all die out, mankind would only have potential to live for about 4 years. For those who don't know, bees pollinate about 3/4 of the food that we eat. So of course, no bees, no food. I remembered once I saw in a country where they were using a lot of pesticides. It's somewhere in Asia, I don't remember where exactly, but I was watching a documentary. It was really interesting, and it killed out all of the bees there, and for some reason the bees would never go back. I don't understand why, but I think they did put bees, and like the bees just would, they would like, dude, we ain't coming back here. This is how you treat us, dude. They never went back, and the people had to self-pollinate the freaking flowers. Can you imagine going around on pear trees and you have your little brush with a little pollen rubbing on every single flower? That was so annoying to watch, and they had to hire like hundreds of people to do this, walk through the orchards and to do stuff like that. That's one of the main reasons why honey is so expensive, because the bees are dying because of pesticides, agricultural issues, and also the beekeeping practices. You know, I've watched a lot of videos. I've analyzed the differences. I've looked at things, and for me, the conclusion based on what some researchers have said is definitely beekeeping practices in most cases. For example, when I'm in the US, because I've years gone by, I've always been looking in the stores, looking at the prices of honey and so on. Clover honey in the US is one they have grade A honey clover, and it's really cheap. Now, you cannot compare that to Jamaican honey. Reason being is it's a monofloral honey, meaning it's primarily coming from clover. Yeah, Clover's a nice girl. She produces sweet things. Why? But anyway, it's primarily coming from clover. Now, of course, the US is very big, so when they have clover fields, it's really, really long. That's not good for the bees. Reason why it's not good for the bees is if I were to wake you up every day and I give you just bananas to eat, it limits your diet. So over a period of time, you start getting weaker and weaker, and you are not so able or capable of counteracting diseases or fending for yourself. So think about it. So that's one of the reasons, because the bee immune systems have really died down. Second thing is that for us, the consumers of the honey, we're pretty much only getting vitamin sources from just one plant, just the clover. Why would you really want that? You know what I'm saying? Now, I understand it from a culinary point of view. For example, when flavor is not really the biggest of issues, you're looking more for color. Some honeys produce a very light color, which is really sought after for culinary purposes. That I understand. So, for the culinary people, you try to, get honey like that. For example, in Jamaica, we have the logwood honey, which is primarily, logwood, and the honey is a lot lighter. So it's nicer to look at. It's really nice. It's really flavorful. But I'm definitely always going to go hands down for more of a multifloral honey. Not just for myself or for my consumers, but definitely for the bees as well. Because I want my workers, I've always wanted for myself and my workers to be like as healthy or as comfortable as they could be. Funny or not, guys, I have like hundreds of thousands of workers. I've never thought about it that way. God damn, I'm a pimp. But anyway, yeah, so that's one of the reasons, that's one of the definite reasons as well. So you have all of these diseases that are striking the bees. So of course, less bees means less production of honey, which means the demand goes up. Now at the moment, for those who want to know, I'm selling my 236 milliliter bottle for $1,000, which I know it's affordable. I know it's, well, let me not say, well, affordable based on the market prices. Because if I walk into any Jamaican store now, that very same honey is going to be sold for maybe 50% more on what I am selling it for. Now, that's one of my goals for this year and onwards, is to be able to create a lot more hives so I'm able to produce a lot more. So in future, of course, I can stabilize my price, if you get what I'm saying. Because I don't want it. I never want honey to be a product where it's so underproduced and so high in demand, like the average person who needs this for their own health benefits, like the diabetics, for them not to be able to afford it. I definitely don't want that. Now, some persons have mentioned to me like they can get honey for a little bit cheaper, which is true. It's in fact true. If you do go to like places like St. Thomas, like some places like St. Thomas, you can get honey for a cheaper price, but that's because some of these people maybe have like a few little hives, and their cost of living is completely different from in the city. Also, I don't think that really makes 100% sense. Reason being, you have to gear your business up. You have to always try to protect your business and protect your consumers. Meaning, I don't want to be producing honey for you today, and then tomorrow I can't. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be buying honey from me and then I go, oh, I'm sorry guys, this year I can't provide you with honey. Reason being is that some of these persons back in the country, when they sell it for so cheap, if there is a natural disaster or something that goes wrong, which is, beekeeping is very volatile, because if, for example, there's a hurricane and trees get blown down, flowers get kicked off of plants, or there's heavy rains, the bees have no food. There's starvation happening. You have to start feeding them sugar, whatever the case is. When you can't afford to take care of your colonies, then your colonies die. Then bees and honey goes back into high demand as well. I don't know if in that last vlog, if I did enter the clip where the guy was saying, from Gilbert, and he said that he was beekeeping in the Blue Mountains from Gilbert, and he had 25 hives. Gilbert happened. If you don't know, Gilbert is a really big hurricane that happened in 1988, and it pretty much killed all of his hives. Now, this is from 1988, and this is 2018, and this guy hasn't beekeeped since. Now, that's my point. When you're selling such a high quality product for such a low price, where you cannot sustain your business over a long period of time, it doesn't make any sense at all. So for me, as I'm saying, I'm keeping mine at a farm price, which is going to be cheaper than any local supermarket by far. And also, you guys know that you're getting 100% the quality, because what some of you don't know, when you buy some of these mass-produced honeys as well, they are not exactly what they should be. They're not as organic and they're not as raw as they should be. Reason being, in the large facilities, sometimes they heat the honey, so the honey moves through the areas a lot faster and gets into the bottle a lot quicker. When you heat honey, you're pretty much killing enzymes, and that's what you want. You need the enzymes to be in your body. Why am I buying something that's so expensive and I'm not getting all of the nutritional values or benefits of the product? For those of you who don't know, honey is a superfood. A superfood is a food that contains so many vitamins and minerals that you can pretty much almost survive off of it. I remembered once my cousin and I was watching this show called Dexter, America's favorite serial killer, something like that. And in the show, what it was pretty much saying, the guy was like, let's keep him alive. We'll feed him 2 tablespoons of water and 1 of honey. And that's pretty much how they were going to keep this guy alive, pretty much, to keep torturing him. Case in point, honey has so many vitamins and minerals that it's able to sustain you with little or no food. The only reason why they were giving like the 2 tablespoons of water, of course, was because I don't know if it was a joke or what, but honey doesn't contain any it contains really low water content, and that's the reason why honey never spoils. You can never really spoil honey, and that's why I'm not really even so big on trying to get my honey out there anyway, because it's not going to spoil, so I don't have any rush at all. Another thing that persons don't understand, back to the whole heating of honey and killing the enzymes, as I was saying before, I don't do that with my honey, and it's a part of the bottling process. Now, what I'm trying to get at is, I want to sell it in the future. Hopefully I can sell a 750 milliliter bottle, which is a big bottle, the Appleton bottle of honey, for like 2,500. Now when you think of it, you go, well, 2,500 compared to the small one is costing a little bit more. This practice has been around in business from forever. Case in point, when you're in a supermarket in Jamaica and you buy a bottle of water, it costs maybe like $90. Like, small bottle of water is like for $90. But when you buy the big 2-liter bottle, it's like for sometimes $100. And you're like, what the hell? I'm getting way more water and I'm only paying like $10, $20 more. Like, I don't get it. What you're actually paying for ultimately is the bottling process. So you're not paying heavily for the content of the product, but the bottling process. And this doesn't only go for water. This also goes for Pepsi, the sodas, the juices, and so on that you're paying for. So for me, not only does my business constitute the same concept, mine actually is for a reason as well, because I'm preserving the integrity of the honey by not trying to heat it so that I can package it so fast and whatever. So all of these things, you know, have been in consideration for me. Because I recorded this video so many times, I don't remember if I did mention some things in this video or not. But yeah, I've recorded this video so many freaking times, I really don't remember what I said and what I did not say. But yeah, long and short, guys, like the demand of honey is really high because of course the beekeeping population, the bee populations around the world are dying. There's not so much honey around there, and also it's a seasonal product. If you guys don't understand, it's a very seasonal product. So during this period of time, you're gonna have a lot more honey available, and then come Christmas time, oh my gosh, like honey, you're not going to even be able to see it, you know. I think, well, I know Jamaica nowhere produce its local demand for honey at all. So whatever the beekeepers are producing now, it cannot even supply our local demand. So that's a big thing as well. Places like Europe and the US request our honey heavily. I think it's somewhere, the last time I checked years ago, they were requesting like 10 tons of honey or something like that per year. I don't remember what it was, but they were requesting a lot of honey. And the reason why they come here is because our honey is not as, our bees are not so diseased as the others. And again, I think that goes back down to the fact of how we beekeep here. You know, the bees are allowed to eat several different varieties of food sources, so they're a lot stronger. And I think they react in a more natural way. I really hope I'm not saying the same thing over and over because I don't remember what I recorded. But I remember when we were, one of my videos, a few people said, oh, I would be afraid of being in hives. For me, this is a good thing when the bees are a little bit aggressive, because it shows me that they are willing to protect what they have. You know what I'm saying? In the US, the hives are a little bit more submissive and a lot more docile. Yeah, it makes it easy for you to work with the bees. It's like, yay, you're so beautiful. The bees are like, you want to scratch my back? I got an itch in my butt. I don't want that for my bees. Like, my bees, them made for art. That's pretty much what I want from my bees, meaning that they're able to protect their colony, they're able to clean their colony, and they're able to stay alive. This for me is a really big thing. Case in point, like even a lot of persons, which I really enjoy, people come to me and they've said like they want to invest. They really like to invest in the business, and I'm like, yo, bro, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? I think honestly about 4 persons have mentioned it to me before, like have sent me direct messages. One person, shout out to my friend, I'm not going to call his name because I don't really want anyone to know about that, but like shout out to him. You know, for the fun of it, I asked him like, you know, what would be a figure, and he told me, and I was like, whoa, you know, that would have helped the business a little bit to grow, of course. But to be honest, again, going back to the whole, I don't remember if I spoke about arrogance or not, but back to the whole idea of arrogance, I'm not going to be that kind of person. I'm not arrogant enough to the point of stupidity. So I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, give me your money and let's do this because it's going to work. I rather know that something is 100% proven. I'm not saying that I don't, like, the numbers are there on the market. The numbers are there that it's a good business. But I want to know that if I take someone on to say, okay, I can help you flip your money or do whatever it is, I want to know in myself that if I do fail, it's not on me. It's because of some natural disaster or some crap like that. So that's why for those who are interested in, you know, helping the business out and doing stuff like that, I kind of politely turn them down temporarily. And that's one of the reasons. But I'm really happy that people, you know, put that level of trust and faith in me as a person, you know, and because I know that you put that level of trust and faith in me as a person, I'm returning that by not, you know, readily, openly wanting to, you know, take those offers up, you know, until I'm like, yeah. So you guys saw in the last vlog where, you know, I went up to, guys, if I'm talking a lot, you can just X the video. But yeah, those of you who saw me go up to the Blue Mountains to search, you know, for a place to put them, some of you might be like, oh, but that's counterproductive. You just said, you know, not to feed them to monofloral you know, honey or whatever. I hope I did not say this already because I recorded this so many times, bruh. But yeah, anyway, yes, up there they're gonna heavily have a lot of coffee to go off of, but there also are other. I think the time is running out. I see it flashing. Or I don't know. But anyway, there are a lot of other trees up there for them to get. For example, the plants, the flowering fruits that are on the plantations up there, also the trees in the wild. And the other guy, the guy that I spoke to, also told me about the soapwood tree, which is another tree that does that the bees like as well. So there are going to be a lot of other plants up there. It's not going to be monofloral, but the honey is primarily going to be influenced by the Blue Mountains, which is really going to be awesome. But anyway, guys, I'm done talking about this. For those of you who listened all the way through to the end of this video, like, yo, thank you for listening, or, you know, being informed about something. You know, information is always good, whether you're going to use it or not. You know, it's good to understand the thing. A matter of fact, it doesn't even matter if you're going to use it or not. You need this information because your family and your children are going to be existing in this world after you have died. Yeah, so it's good to have some of these information so you can pass it down and to help to guide the other things out there that need to be guided. God put us as man on earth to take care of the little creatures and living things. Let's do it. Remember these 3 things, guys: love, nature, adaptation, and always remember, guys, keep the link and look out for that adventure vlog. It's going to be freaking awesome. My next few vlogs, I definitely wanted it to be a lot more adventure vlogs and not much daily vlogs. So I think maybe next weekend I might not really put out 3 vlogs like I normally do. But anyway, until then, keep the link, guys. My love on a bud.
All I am is a man. I want the world in my hands. I hate the beach, but I stand in California with my toes in the